Let us pray. Father Yahuwah, we thank Thee again for another beautiful day. We thank Thee for granting us Thy Sabbath, that we may rest in Thee, that we may be restored in Thee. Let Thy loving kindness and Thy mercy everlasting make us healed and strengthened for Thy glory. We thank Thee for another day, that we may study Thy Bible carefully. Let the Spirit of Adonai Yahushua HaMashiach grant us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding from above. Let Thy Spirit indwell in us. Cover us by the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach, and wash us clean by Thy word, Thy truth, that we may be renewed, to be born from above, to be born again. Let us be strengthened by Thy truth, and let us walk in Thy righteousness, by the faithfulness, by the authority of the name Adonai Yahushua HaMashiach. In Adonai Yahushua's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Today is another Sabbath day, the 8th day of 13th lunation of year 6005. And we are continuing our Sabbath day Bible reading and studying in book of Proverbs chapter 24. Proverbs chapter 24 verse 1. Be not thou envious against evil men, neither desire to be with them.
For their heart studieth destruction, and their lips talk of mischief.
Through wisdom is an house builded, and by understanding it is established.
And by knowledge shall the chambers be filled with all precious and pleasant riches.
A wise man is strong, yea, a man of knowledge increaseth strength.
For by wise counsel thou shalt make thy war, and in multitude of counselors there is safety.
Proverbs chapter 24 verse 7. Wisdom is too high for a fool. He openeth not his mouth in the gate.
He that deviseth to do evil shall be called a mischievous person.
The thought of foolishness is sin, and the scorner is an abomination to men.
If thou faint in the day of adversity, thy strength is small.
If thou forbear to deliver them that are drawn unto death, and those that are ready to be slain.
If thou sayest, Behold, he knew it not.
We knew it not.
We knew it not. Not he that
Doth not.
doth not, but he that pondereth the heart consider it. And he that keepeth thy soul, doth not he know it? And shall not he render to every man according to his works?
Verse 13 of Proverbs chapter 24. My son, eat thou honey, because it is good, and the honeycomb, which is sweet to thy taste.
So shall the knowledge of wisdom be unto thy soul. When thou hast found it, then there shall be a reward, and thy expectation shall not be cut off.
Lay not wait a wicked man against the dwelling of the righteous, spoil not his resting place.
For a just man falleth 7 times, and riseth up again, but the wicked shall fall into mischief.
Rejoice not when thine enemy falleth, and let not thine heart be glad when he stumbleth.
Lest Yahuwah see it, and it displease him, and he turn away his wrath from him.
Proverbs chapter 24 verse 19. Fret not thyself because of evil man, neither be thou envious at the wicked.
For there shall be no reward to the evil man. The candle of the wicked shall be put out.
My son, fear thou Yahuwah and the king, and meddle not with them that are given to change.
For their calamity shall rise suddenly, and who knoweth the ruin of them both?
These things also belong to the wise. It is not good to have respect of persons in judgment.
He that saith unto the wicked, Thou art righteous, him shall the people curse, nations shall abhor him.
Proverbs chapter 24 verse 25. But to them that rebuke him shall be delight, and a good blessing shall come upon them.
Every man shall kiss his lips that giveth a right answer.
Prepare thy work without, and make it fit for thyself in the field, and afterwards build thine house.
Be not a witness against thy neighbor without cause, and deceive not with thy lips.
Say not, I will do so to him as he hath done to me. I will render to the man according to his work.
I went by the field of the slothful, and by the vineyard of the man void of understanding.
Proverbs chapter 24, verse 31. And lo, it was all grown over with thorns, and nettles had covered the face thereof, and the stone wall thereof was broken down.
Then I saw and considered it well. I looked upon it and received instruction.
Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep.
So shall thy poverty come as one that travelleth, and thy want as an armed man.
Proverbs chapter 24, verse 1. Be not thou envious against evil men, plural, evil men, neither desire to be with them. This is a commandment. It's not optional. If you are to walk in Yahuwah's commandment, if you are to walk in His blessing, if you are to walk in as true Christian, it is so sad that I have to distinguish the difference between true Christians and so-called Christians. It is sad because there was times before that to be Christian means you have put everything on the line. And everybody knew what it meant. You have gone from the ways of this world, never to return again. But sadly, that's not the case nowadays. If you are to be real Christian, you're not to envy. Envy is desiring something that does not belong to you. You should be jealous of you and your loved ones, the ministry that Yahuwah gave it to you, opportunities that He brings to you. You need to be jealously guarding them. But you shouldn't be envious of what evil men possess or do or talk about. Neither to be desiring to be with them. Why? Well, here's a reason. Verse 2. 4. Because their heart, it's funny, this is very, very interesting. The subject matter is plural. We made it clear in verse 1. Not to be envious against evil men, plural, more than two, or at least two or more. Neither desire to be with them. Yet the heart is singular. Their heart studieth. It's not grammatical mistake that plural form indicator S is missing in heart. The verb confirms it. Studieth. I don't know of anybody who have multiple people gathering and their heart is singular. When there are 10 people gathered, there are 11 different opinions. What is the Bible talking about? Their heart studieth, singular, destruction. And their lips, there are multiple lips, not one heart, talk of mischief. Well, at least we know they share one particular heart, which has to do with destruction. And we know from the studying the rest of the Bible, they study destruction because their work, all that pertain to the ways of the evil man, is regarding death. Death. What is death? The true form of death is separation from life. Separation from life. What is life? Life eternal is Yahuwah and His Son Yahushua, Creator who created everything. So they share one heart. Some are called feminist, some are called whatever, some are called Republican, some are called Democrat. They're all different. 5 people with 6 different opinions, but their commonality is everything that they pay attention is without, outside of, discarding, rejecting the Creator. Confirm this. Confirm it. Because people who fear the Creator, they do not behave the same way. Yahuwah made heaven and earth. You better know this for sure. If you have any doubt that Creator did not create this heaven and earth in 6 days, you need to study the evidence carefully. Carefully. Go through the evidence. And this is why the turmoil never ends in this way. Ways of this world, it never ends. Yes, the leftist socialist agenda is completely void of Yahuwah the Creator. They even said so. They are proud to admit that their philosophy is 100% dependent on materialism. They don't even believe in spirit. That was the ways of Soviet Union. That is the ways of North Korea and China. Yesterday I came across this particular article of news. A man who sold one of his kidney for brand new iPhone 8 years ago is regretting great deal. What the heck? What kind of person will sell one of his kidney for an iPhone? So I read through the article. This young boy, 17 years old back then, I think, 17 or 19. 2011, 8 years ago. This must be an iPhone 3 or something like that, right? iPhone 1, first original one came out in 2007. But Chinese government did not allow iPhone to come into the market. So it took several years before other countries were allowed to play with this new toy. So it must be in one of those times when the new iPhone was all the rage of the talk of the town, right? But this young boy, 17, he was living in a modest family. They didn't have money to spend to buy an iPhone. But he wanted one. And he was a tall and strong boy, 190 centimeters tall. That is about 6 feet 2, 6 feet 3, maybe more, 6 feet 4, tall boy. And he was very healthy. So he figured, hey, maybe I could sell one of my kidney. Because in China, they do those illegal things. So he found a group of people who was willing to buy one of his kidney. And they cut him open and took one of the kidney. And they paid him money to buy an iPhone. And he sure bought one. And back then he thought, oh, it's a great idea. I got 2 kidney after all. And doctors always tell me that you don't need 2. You don't need 2 pairs of lung. You don't need appendices. You don't need tonsils. Sounds familiar? Those are just vestiges of evolutionary process. So what happened during the 8 years? For some reason, he began to become sick and sick. Common colds that he would take in, right? He'll get infected. Just like everybody else, it will take greater and greater toll. So 8 years later, now he's what, 25, 26? He can't survive without getting blood transfusion every time. Hooked up to some machine, that dialysis machine, to filter out blood. And here's the kicker. Are you ready for this? How in the world is he paying for all this? The story continues. He had both mom and dad, and he had one older sister. 4 people. They have squandered every penny that they have trying to keep this stupid boy alive. Can he go back and get his kidney back? Hopefully, in this country, in the United States, No one's going to make that kind of foolish decision. But I know how that boy came to that decision. Because the Chinese government's educational regime teaches you, you don't have a spirit. You are just collection of these bodily parts. Materialism. At least the left side is hell-bent on that idea. And leave those people alone, I say. But the right side, the conservative side, is not much better. They tout the free market, the rule of law, the freedom of society, etc., etc. Yet, they are far from Yahuwah's truth too. They too uphold and support the idea, we are just evolutionized, we are just improved version of monkeys. There is no real moral, no real ethics. That's why we have to keep it market-based economy. Let the fittest survive, so they say. Now, the society is bouncing back and forth from these two extreme stupidity. What else would you expect when it is bouncing back and forth? Left to right, right to left, back and forth, back and forth. It's funny, they call it two separate wings, right? Left wing and right wing. But it is part of the same bird. The question should never be, is it left versus right? The question should always be, what is the wrong versus what is the correct? What is the wicked, evil versus what is truthful and righteous? They don't talk about those. Therefore, it is one heart. And they all say different things. But it is stemming from one heart. Sinful heart. We read from later Bible text in New Testament, especially in Pauline epistle. The epistle is written by Apostle Paul. It talks about how true children of Yahuwah, the true member of church, true Christians are rooted and built it up by none other than Yahushua HaMashiach. And it is exactly the same way it is written here. You will not expect the house to build itself. You will not expect book to write itself. And you will not expect music to play itself. Oh, but that, to the contrary, we are working on artificial intelligence, that's going to do itself. No, it does not. It just reconstitutes. It collects a massive amount of data and regurgitates it. It does not create anything of new. And Bible mentions about that. Look at the verse 3 and 4. Through knowledge is an house builded. It would be foolish to translate this into say, through wisdom, not knowledge, through wisdom, house builds. As if house will build itself. No, house is builded. House is not subject. It's an object being builded. And by understanding, it is established. So the key is not the house, but the wisdom and understanding that builds and establishes the house. Do you understand this? Sadly, that Chinese boy never got this news. Never got it. Later on, they did more research. Of course, this entire thing was illegal. Chinese government found out that they paid this boy equivalent of the price of an iPhone. Maybe a few $1,000s. But in black market, they sold the very same kidney that they extracted out of this person, okay? Sold for more than 50 times what he paid the boy. No wonder these people, quote-unquote business people, linger on. Wow, what a way to make huge amount of money at the expense of these stupid and ignorant people. That means there are people in China who's willing to pay for someone else's kidney. As long as you think you're just a collection of body parts, this kind of thing is going to continue. Look at verse 4. It's a second witness of same idea. And by knowledge shall the chambers be filled with all precious and pleasant riches. It'll be foolish for you to think that chamber is going to fill itself. This is why the same Bible demands you to work righteously. Put in, by the sweat of your brow, you're going to eat. So the important thing is, the thing that makes this possible, one that builds house, establishes the house, one that fills the chamber with the precious and pleasant riches, is not you, the house and chamber. It is the wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. Another name for the Creator Himself. How do you know this is true? Consider your surroundings. Look at your nature around you. Soaring mountains, vast oceans, all that clouds float around, sun rising and going down, moon waxing and waning. Do these things do so on their own? In other words, did moon make itself? Did the mountain build itself up? Or were they built up? What do you think? Nothing that ever is made from itself. So it is all built up. It is all established. It is all filled up with pleasant and precious riches. Who or what did all that? Who or what filled it all up, built up? That's the question to ask. Because you surely know, if you study even a bit, you're going to know what it is. This cup did not make itself. It is here. We know it's here. But it did not make itself. This pen, we know, no pen can make itself up. Oh, but there's something that could make itself up. Yes, what is it? The life, living cell's DNA. It replicates itself. Oh, that's the worst example. Worst kind. DNA seemingly replicates itself, but all the meticulous components, what we call cellular machines, cannot come from itself. From the original origin, it replicates. Life comes from life. Life comes from life. To say that, oh, that is the evidence how evolution is true, nonsense. No rocks, no amino acid, no chemical components can ever become DNA in the first place. Somebody made the DNA to replicate itself. It was not DNA. I'm getting tired of these people spewing lies after lies after lies. The same voice that says life comes from only life itself says that rock made and rocks turn into DNA. You just said life can only come from life, which I agree, which is what Bible states. That's why the physical life that we see had to be made by someone or something that is not physical. Now let's go back to verse 1. Why? Bible tells us, be not thou envious against the evil men, neither desire to be with them. Because of this conflict. They do not have wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. They do not give credit where credit is due. They continue to speak mischief, and their heart studieth and deviseth destruction, mutual and total annihilation. That's what they study. Verse 5, a wise man is strong, yea, a man of knowledge increases strength. What strength? What strength? For by wise counsel thou shalt make thy war, and in multitude of counselors there is safety. What war? What kind of strength to provide safety? What are we talking about? Is it physical war? Is it mental war? Is it spiritual? What? You have to pay attention and find out. Verse 7, wisdom is too high for a fool. He openeth not his mouth in the gate. Which gate? It can't be just physical gate, because this world is filled with fools speaking proudly in their gate. This cannot mean the worldly gate or place of gathering. He that deviseth to do evil shall be called a mischievous person. So, if you just read up to this passage from verse 5 through verse 8, you have no idea what it's talking about. But verse 9 gives you a clue what it's talking about here. The thought of foolishness is sin. Sin. Something that evil or evil men do not ever talk about. As far as they're concerned, there is no such thing as sin, because everything is relative to them. There is no sin. But Bible mentions about sin, and it is real thing. The thought of foolishness is sin, and the scorner is an abomination to men. M-E-N. What kind of man? Not to the evil man. Evil men, they do not say, oh, it is abomination to us for you to scorn. Scorn means there is no sin. Downplaying the treachery and the destructive nature of sin. They don't talk about it. Yet they don't say, oh, you are scorning. So what kind of man? On verse 9. It goes even further, verse 10. If thou faint in the day of adversity, thy strength is small. So if you're gonna be, counted as one of the men on verse 9, the end of the verse 9, abomination to men, this man, your strength better not be small. If thou forbear to deliver them that are drawn unto death, and those that are ready to be slain, if thou sayest, behold, we knew it not, doth not he that pondereth the heart consider it? Who is he that pondereth the heart? And he that keepeth thy soul, doth not he know it? Who is he? And shall not he render to every man according to his works? He is he who is wisdom, understanding, and knowledge that we previously looked at. So there is two group of men, M-E-N. Evil man, which starts out on verse 1. Be not thou envious against evil men. And then there are righteous men who we hope includes us. And how do you know if you're a righteous man? Okay, your strengths better not fail in the day of adversity. You better be standing when the one who pondereth the heart, one that knoweth thy soul, one that keepeth thy soul looks at you, you better not fail. And it has all to do with, it has everything to do with this thing we call sin. Verse 9. Because if you think in sin, just like verse 9 says, the thought of foolishness is sin. All they think about is sinful. It's sin. Then you bet you are part of the evil men, not those men to whom the scorning is abomination. Does this make sense? Bible is separating sheep from the goat. Not everybody is saying created equal. And that's been the main message of the Bible. But it's bad for church business. No, you do not want to say, if you're opening up a business, You never want to say, oh, we're going to only serve to a particular group of people. That's bad business. You want to maximize your marketplace, market size. That's why churches trying to become Walmarts and McDonald's to everybody. They say all are welcome. Everybody's the same. No, they are not. There are evil men and there are righteous men. You better be able to distinguish them apart. Otherwise, why does Bible say, be not thou envious of evil men, if there is only one kind? That makes no sense. If you're already an evil person, you are not being envious of evil men because you are one in the same. Bible should be written, do not be jealousy. Do not have jealousy over other evil men because you're already evil. Protect your own. But that's not what the Bible says. There are two distinctive classes of people. Turning churches into McDonald's and Walmarts is complete 180-degree rebellion against Yahushua's commandment. Yahushua himself said, the pathway to destruction is open and wide. Many enter by it. But pathway to what? Salvation, righteousness, life is narrow and straight. Very few even find it. Does that sound like an open door policy of Walmarts and McDonald's? You don't want to be that are drawn unto death, verse 11. Those that are ready to be slain. You don't want to be counted one of those. If thou sayest, verse 12, behold, we knew it not. You mean you didn't know there's a difference between that open door policy, the wide and broad path that leads unto destruction, and the narrow and straight gate? You don't know the difference? We knew it not. Doth not he that pondereth the heart consider it? Are you saying Yahuwah Elohim's not going to care about these things? These are, by the way, rhetorical questions. He is saying that he does ponder the heart to consider it. And he that keepeth thy soul, doth not he know it? Of course he does. He is the way, the narrow and straight. Doth not he know it? And shall not he render to every man according to his work? Of course he shall. Every person's gonna get exactly what they deserve based on who you have become. What kind of person you have become. Verse 13. My son, eat thou honey, because it is good, and the honeycomb, which is sweet to thy taste. Well, is this talking about physical honey and honeycomb? Maybe. That's a beginning. But you know how to study Bible. I hope you do. So shall the knowledge of wisdom be unto thy soul. Okay, I got it. So it's not talking about honey and honeycomb here, right? As you delight to eat sweet things, so shall the knowledge of wisdom be unto thy soul. Soul here represents your life. Not just the spiritual part. Not just the spirit, but your entire life. Wisdom better be delight to your life. Lack of wisdom is delight to death, destruction, pain and suffering. When thou hast found it, what is it? Wisdom. Then there shall be a reward, and thy expectation shall not be cut up. Let me tell you what my expectation is. I like to live with my Adonai Yahushua and all those people that I care about, that I love, and those who love me in truth, to be together for the eternity. That's my expectation. Nothing else matters than to spend eternity with my family. That's it. What is your expectation? Oh, I want to have a lot of money. I want to have go on vacation, jet set life, blah, 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 blah. Is that your expectation? Okay, let's see how long it holds up. They are missing the forest for a tree. Like that foolish Chinese boy, they are giving up one of their kidney for this iPhone. What you do is different than who you become. Your expectation should be for who you become and who are you becoming with together. That's the eternal expectation, not what you do or what you get to have or what you get to play with. Yahusha said it this way. Isn't your body far more valuable than what kind of clothes you're wearing? Of course. But people spend more time worrying about what to wear than what is their body is like. And that's the ways of evil men. Because they study foolishness and destruction. And all their thoughts is sin. Of course, this does not mean Bible does not allow you to have things or go visit places or see sightseeings and things like that. But those are just the secondary things. They are not that important. With your loved ones, you could visit different places if that is within Yahuwah's plan. But not at the expense of your well-being. Even that expression, well-being, is taken out of context, so I'm afraid to use it. Because people talk about well-being. YOLO, you only live once. And those are all foolishness. Why? Because they are completely void of the Creator's will. Creator's perspective for them. So it is just another perversion of truth. It sounds good until you dig into it. Until you actually dissect it and study it, then you see this is another ploy to sell one of the kidney for latest iPhone. They are robbing themselves of the future for the delight of now. Foolishness, lack of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Let's see if your expectation does stand the test of passage of time. Because eventually there will be time no more. Time itself will be discarded. You're not going to have any airline scheduled to meet. Because there will be no airline flying around. Verse 15 continues, lay not wait, O wicked man, against the dwelling of the righteous. Here you go. Just in case you thought I was just making up. Daddy, you are just making up. There are evil men and there are righteous men. That's your story. Bible does not confirm that. Oh yeah? Look at verse 15. Lay not wait, O wicked man, against the dwelling of the righteous. Spoil not his resting place. Why? Because, verse 16, for a just man falleth 7 times and riseth up again. Riseth up again. That's his nature. Riseth up again. This is the same verse, same verb form that was used for Yahushua's risen. He is risen. He is risen. But the wicked shall fall into mischief. Hey, wait a minute. It doesn't talk about rising again. No. Once he falls, that's it. That's it. Now these are the difficult portions. If you are counted in the camp, in the side of righteousness. Verse 17 tells you, rejoice not when thine enemy falleth, and let not thine heart be glad when he stumbleth. Why? Verse 18, lest Yahuwah see it, and it displease him, and he turn away his wrath from him. That's why. It is not your job to be judgmental. It is your job to tell them apart, so you don't fall into it. You don't condemn these people. I don't really care about McDonaldization and Walmartization of corporate church. It's no skin on my back. But then why are we talking about it? Because I don't want my children, my inheritance, people that I am responsible for, to miss the difference. That's all. I have no intention of trying to quote-unquote evangelize these people, put some sense into them. Who made me a judge? Verse 19 continues, fret not thyself because of evil men, plural, neither be thou envious of the wicked. Exact same thing, repeated by second witness of verse 1. Right? It's the same message, but reported by another witness. That's why it is not exact same verbatim. But the message is the same. For there shall be no reward to the evil man. The candle of the wicked shall be put out. And once it's put out, it's never going to light up again. My son, fear thou Yahuwah and the king, and meddle not with them that are given to change. That's another characteristics that you better study and find out. Every ways of the wickedness is always changing. Do you really think he's going to sell his kidney for iPhone 3? I don't know what the latest iPhone is. You couldn't even give away iPhone 3 to somebody, would you? Huh? Unless you think it's going to be collector's item, decades later. It's worthless. You can't use it. I think the oldest iPhone that they still could sort of use is like iPhone 6 or iPhone 5, whatever. The older ones, 2007, 2008, 2000, those models, you can't even give it away. They are changed. They are given to change. Do not meddle with these people. Why? Because, verse 22, their calamity, those who are given to change. Remember what I told you about my expectation, which I hope and pray shall never be cut? What is it? I want to be together with my Adonai Yahushua HaMashiach in my Father's kingdom with those that love me and that I love. That's it. And that better start from this moment. That better start from today. I want to be with all of you and your spouse and your children until the day I die out of this world. That's it. I don't have other expectations. I don't have any other desires. Now in the process of 6 of us here, and then later on 10 of us, and then later on, I don't know, however many children you end up with, maybe dozens and dozens of people. In the process of us being together, sure, we need to make more money. We need to build a house. We need to get another car, etc., etc. But those are not really that important. The important thing is for us to be together in unity and love. That's my expectation. Now, is that subject to change? Are we going to meddle with change on things like that? What do you think? I hope not. Because there is nothing else in this world. Nothing else that is truly valuable. I don't want to give that away or sell that away with any price. But the ways of this world is always changing, shifting back and forth, shifting back and forth. Whatever the latest gizmo, whatever latest fad, whatever latest marketing gimmick, whatever latest blockbuster movie, they shift back and forth. Given to change. And that's how that young Chinese boy was thinking. Oh, at that time I thought it was good business sense. Because after all, I got 2 kidneys, I don't need 2. I could survive with just 1 kidney. And I got lots of money to pay for the Apple iPhone. For their calamity, verse 22, shall rise suddenly, and who knoweth the ruin of them both? Those who make people to change and those who become changed. Do you understand? Those con men who's conning the people and the victim who are being conned, they both become ruined. Meat for the belly, belly for meat. Kingdom of Yahuwah is not about eating and drinking. Now, in order to know how to tell the difference between the camp of evil men versus camp of righteous men, you also need to be able to tell them apart in their character. Given to change are the character of the evil, wicked people. Let's study a little bit about the characters of righteous group. Verse 23, these things also belong to the wise. Okay, and then what comes next? It is not good to have respect of persons in judgment. If you are one of the righteous, you do not judge things or people by its case cover, book cover. And then Bible goes into detailed explanation of what it means to be given to the respect of persons in judgment. So you shouldn't be doing this. He that saith unto, verse 24, he that saith unto the wicked, thou art righteous, him shall the people curse, nations shall abhor him. Why would anybody say to the wicked, thou art righteous? Because he's giving you money to buy an iPhone. That's why. In that case of a Chinese young boy 8 years ago, he thought, oh, this is a good deal. In North Korea, Kim regime, okay, 3 generations of Kims. I don't know why they turned out to be Kims, because I am one of the Kims too. Of course, they are different Kim, but same, last name Kim. If you do not praise the 3 Kims, you're gonna be shot, killed instantly, right on the spot. So what do? They say Kims are righteous because of the fear of being murdered. He that saith unto the wicked, thou art righteous, during the time of Hitler in Germany, okay? Either you do Heil Hitler or you get sent into Auschwitz. But look at verse 25. But to them that rebuke him shall be delight, and a good blessing shall come upon him, or upon them. So camp of righteous supposed to rebuke the camp of the wicked. But this is not what you think it means, rebuke. It does not mean go to them and meddle with them. Hey, what you're doing is wrong. Change. That's not the rebuke that it's talking about here. It means another word for discern, to be able to tell them apart. Tell them apart. So you don't join them. That's what rebuke means. When you rebuke the Satan, when Yahushua rebuked Satan, depart from me, right? He rebuked Satan. He did not try to correct him, teach him the lesson. He separated himself from Satan. And the very next verse says, Satan what? Left him for a season. He separated. Do not be unequally yoked with the wicked. It's not your business to make them better people. Verse 26, every man shall kiss him, his lips that giveth the right answer. Eventually, there are only going to be this group of people remaining. Shall kiss him, shall kiss his lips. It's something that's going to happen in the future when the judgment is taken, be done. The execution of judgment carried out. Only people who's going to remain is one who kisses lips up that giveth the right answer. There shall be no more wicked people. This is why you should prepare, verse 27, thy work outside, without, and make it fit for thyself in the field, and afterwards build thine house. The house here is your eternal home. Eternal home. And you know how the house gets built? Not with the sticks and stones, not with your works, but by what? Wisdom, understanding, knowledge. Verse 3 and 4. Your house, your brand new body is built by none other than wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. Himself, Yahushua himself. That's why for the time being, we work without, outside of our body, outside of our eternal home. This is why it's called pilgrimage. This is not our home. The life that we live in this earth right now is not our eternal home. This body is not mine to keep for the eternity. I am without, outside of it, lacking the eternal home. This is the field that I am called to work for my master, who is building me the eternal house. If you do not understand how your body is reflected or illustrated as a house, this passage will make no sense to you. Because you think, oh, I could build my house anytime I want. Well, in this country, they have to first get mortgage, get a construction loan, because house cost is so much, it's horrendously expensive. Average person cannot buy a house unless they go deep in debt. And we don't plan to do that. But then again, typical person's definition of a house, the construction house, is very different from what I'm thinking. You only need a place to lay down, do your basic business. You don't need thousands of square foot of building, which you need to heat and cool, waste time and money. Verse 28, be not a witness against thy neighbor without cause, and deceive not with thy lips. Verse 29, say not, I will do so to him as he hath done to me. That's a vengeance, payback. No, vengeance is Yahuwah's. You don't do this. If you are the righteous camp. If you are the wicked camp, this is exactly what they do. I render to him, to the man according to his work. Don't say that. Let Yahuwah render to every man's work. If you are in the camp, in the group of righteousness. Verse 30. I went by the field of the slothful. This is what you better be doing. Discern, to be able to tell the difference between the righteousness and the wickedness. I went by the field of the slothful, and by the vineyard of the man void of understanding. So, if you are void of understanding, do you fall into the camp of righteousness or in the camp of wickedness? Which one? Wickedness. And lo, it was all grown over with thorns, and nettles had covered the face thereof, and the stone wall thereof was broken down. Then I saw and considered it well. This is how you rebuke the wicked. I looked upon it and received instruction. And what was the instruction? Another main characteristics of the wicked. Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall thy poverty come as one that travaileth, and thy want as an armed man. Why? Because your expectation, trying to get something for nothing. It's always somebody else's pocket that they are trying to empty. You don't have to work so hard. You could just tax the rich. So shall thy poverty come as one that travelleth, and thy want as an armed man. You can't stop them. When you draw your last breath, that's it. Your expectation shall not stand. You better find this out, and to be able to tell the difference before it becomes too late for you. But alas, we can't do this alone, can we? Bible tells us we cannot do this alone. Where, Dad? Where does it say we can't do it alone? Verse 3 and 4. Because it takes wisdom in order for a house to get built, and understanding in order for it to be established. It takes knowledge in order for the chambers be filled with all precious and pleasant riches. It is the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that does the work to keep the righteous alive. So what do? We beckon on, we plead to the righteous, plead to the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. That's what we ought to do. We ask righteousness, wisdom and knowledge and understanding to come into us. And that process technically is called repentance. You giving up your way. You give up yourself, your old way of wickedness, and ask for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to take charge of your life from now on. That way you could be built it up. That way it could be established up. That way you could be filled with the pleasant riches. That way your expectation shall not ever be cut off. And in the process, what you desire changes. You no longer desire things that are given to change. Oh, 2019 model just came out. Well, give them a little bit of time. That too is going to be old news. And they're going to come up with a brand new one. Right? It's like every year you have to change. I wear this, whatever you want to call it, sweatshirt or jacket, lace, fleece jacket, right? With gladness. I put it on every day and I think about Kim Son-jo-shi, the original owner of this fleece jacket, one who died of cancer. My mother's best friend's husband. It's a reminder. I don't need any other jacket for this season of the year. Oh yes, I do wash it. But I'm going to wear it as long as I can, until Yahuwah gives me another one. We do not need to work for clothes. You do not need to work for food. He's going to provide you with things that you need, if you depend on His wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And this is a proof. Well, it's proof, at least to me, because I am part of that process, right? You guys need to go through that proving process yourself. Each one of us, in order to stand in the camp of righteousness, you better have a track record of proving Yahuwah's claim, His commandment. Is it so or is it not? Don't be proud and just ignore. It can't be. You have no idea. How do you know whether it is so or it is not? Don't be like that Chinese boy who thought it was a good idea to sell one of his kidney for a piece of an iPhone. and your scorning mind, I'm sure some of you will think, he sold one of his kidney for iPhone. If I sold mine, I would have asked for what? Learjet? $10 million? $100 million? What's your price tag? What is your price tag? I would have never sold my kidney for less than $1 billion. Doesn't matter. If you have a price tag, you are done for. You are destroyed. Your being should be eternal value, infinite value. No, it's not for sale at any price. I don't care how much you pay me. You see, that's the attitude of right, so-called conservative. They have price tag. And they are willing to sell up to highest bidder. So it swings back and forth, back and forth. The communist leftists, they want to buy everything for free. And the right side, free market people, they are willing to sell for the highest bidder. Some things are not meant for sale. Bible is filled with wisdom and knowledge and understanding. Fingerprints of God, Yahuwah Elohim. That's why it's word of Yahuwah, His word. And it is very, very timely. It's applicable today. If you have hearing ear to hear and seeing eye to see. Please, listen to Him when it is still today. I want to see you for the eternity. I want to see you live on for the eternity. I want to see you in that brand new house that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding the hands of Yahuwah have built for you. You know why you wouldn't have to wait in line for your airline ticket, your schedule? Because anywhere you want to go to, you could go there instantly. You're not going to be susceptible to any limitation of physical nature. Yes, what Satan was trying to deceive Eve, it's partially true. Every perversion of truth is somewhat based on truth. You know that, right? Otherwise, it cannot hold as a lie. Nobody's going to buy into it. You shall be like God the day you eat of it. No, we are going to be true member of family of Yahuwah, having the same power and authority. Can you imagine the Creator getting in the airplane to go from place A to place B? Why would He need to if He is the Creator? He's everywhere at once. What kind of travel do you think He will do? Think. That's the life that is stored for people who stand in righteousness. Because whatever Yahushua HaMashiach is going to be receiving or getting, that's what you're going to get too. But that, I still like those mechanized contraptions, cars and motorcycles and airplanes. And yeah, you could have those things as a toy, but you wouldn't use it to travel. You're not going to schlep around in this tin can they call jumbo jet, 12 hours to go from Washington, D.C. to Seoul. You're not going to do that when you could be there instantly. Not in this body, of course. All right? But in the brand new body, that's exactly what's going to happen. There will be no limitation of separation of distance. You don't need to study, for example. You already have encyclopedic knowledge in your head. You can never forget what you have seen. And every book that you read, you get instant understanding. In fact, you don't even have to read it. You look at it and it goes in. You're going to be omniscient. That's the plan that Yahuwah has for His people. This is why nobody could deceive you. It also means you better be absolutely truthful, because everybody will know your thought. Every single one of them. Just like you're going to know everybody's thought. There will be no hidden secret. That's why you have to be perfectly righteous. Speak the truth. Do not do the things that you're going to be ashamed of. The infinite wisdom desires that. It requires that. Yahuwah's mind becomes open book to you. So whatever He knows, you already know. And whatever you know, He knows already. Everybody else in that family. There is no physical limitation of any kind. When you stand in brand new house, that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is building for you now. If you are to be one of His people. That's where I want to see you. You have no idea what you are meant to be doing. I have no idea. Because it's beyond this universe. And yet you're going to give that up for a little bit of your lustful desire for now? What is the difference between you and that boy who sold one of his kidneys for an iPhone? You have no idea what you're meddling with. Now, if we could go back 8 years ago and talk to that boy of 17 years, don't sell your kidney, you think he will listen? What do you think? Chances are probably not. Who are you? It's my life. I'm going to do what I want. Exactly. That's why most people disqualify themselves from the invitation of the Creator to be eternal, to be infinite. Being a true Christian means more than this entire creation. That's why it was fitting for Yahushua to pay the price of infinite value. Do you understand that? He paid the price of infinite value because the thing that you get out of it is infinite value. He didn't squander His blood. Yes, He paid for this body to live on until it's no longer necessary. Yes, He paid for my brand new spirit. But those are just the beginning part. He paid for everything else. The entire course has been paid. And I, for one, have seen little glimpse of it. That's why I'm not going back to Egypt. I never ever gonna go back to the Egypt. And I don't want you guys to be tempted to go back to Egypt either. That's why every time I open my mouth, it goes back to this story. Same thing. Make sure you stand in truth, in righteousness. By the faith of Yahushua HaMashiach, you are found in Him. Make sure that happens. Repent. Turn from your sin. Forsake your old way. Ask for Yahushua's help. So you become brand new creature in Him. That's why I keep repeating. I try to say the same thing to anybody and everybody who has hearing ear. For more than 10 years, I tried to speak this to our relatives. No, you're too much, Christian. You are becoming religious fanatic. We go to church too, you know. Are they given to change? Are your relatives given to change? Yesterday, we went to a Walmart, because Johnstown Walmart, they sell groceries too. And I couldn't help but laugh at all these flat screen TV prices. I still remember Uncle John spending a couple $1,000 more than 10 years ago, before we moved here. He bought the latest Samsung screen, flat screen, remember? 2,000, 3,000. And along with that big screen TV, he bought an armor furniture to keep that TV and the leather couch. Remember that? He replaced all that at the same time. The very same size TV, even better quality, 4K. Now 4K is going out. They are coming out with the ultra high definition, the 8K. And it's already in the market being sold. The 4K unit of that size is selling for less than a couple $100. That is the evidence of given to change. People spend their time, their life for worthless things. And their calamity shall rise suddenly. And nobody's going to know what happened to them. Yahuwah's not going to remember. And we wouldn't have that knowledge, because we wouldn't be there. Noah has no idea what happened to all his contemporaries, because he was inside of the ark. People think he heard screams of people as they drowned outside. No siree, that's not how it happened. Instantly it was gone. There is not a moment to scream. When the fountains of deeps are shooting up at supersonic speed, you won't hear any scream. The water shot up more than mile high, breaking the sound barrier. You think Lot heard the screams of people burning in Sodom and Gomorrah? He didn't even realize his wife was turned into a pillar of salt. People have no idea what they are meddling with, what they are dealing with. Every cell in your body screams. It screams at its tongue, bottom of its lung, screams out for the evidence of the Creator. Yet we got trillions of them and we don't listen. How much greater damnation are we going to receive when we reject the precious blood of the Creator Himself? It's bad enough people rejected Noah's testimony, his ministry, his preaching. Yet all those people who reject Yahushua's testimony, how much worse are they going to be? Please, do not mess around with this infinite, beyond infinite authority and power of Yahushua HaMashiach. Don't do that. He's kind, yeah. He's caring. He's gentle, and He's lowly. So you think He's just one of us. Yeah, He is one of us. But He's also infinite Elohim who made heaven and earth. Do not downplay His authority. Unless, of course, you rather be like that Chinese boy. And this is not just, obscure case that happens once in a while. So many children are bought and sold. They don't make it to the evening newspaper or 7 o'clock news. You know how many countless number of young girls, 15, 16 years old, are selling themselves for a piece of bread, to put food on their table, sell themselves sexual toys in prostitution all over the world. Human trafficking is not a rare event. Do not cheapen your being. You have an infinite value. And that's why Yahushua paid the infinite value price to redeem you. Do not commingle with the ways of this world. Do not fret with the wicked people. Do not be envious of the wicked man. Consider carefully. Discern what is Bible, what is Yahuwah telling you to look. Look at these things. We all want to choose the expectation that shall not be cut off. This is why I don't make my expectation things that I wish I had. Because those things are not that important. Yahuwah is going to meet our need when we need them. Okay, let us pray. Father Yahuwah, we thank Thee again for another beautiful day. Allow us to walk in Thy name today, in Thy Sabbath. Let us rest in Thee. Let us be reminded of Thy loving kindness and Thy truth. Let us ponder carefully and consider, meditate, pray, and wait upon the Spirit of Adonai Yahushua HaMashiach to receive of Thee the eternal blessing. How we were meant to be, to live on for the eternity, beyond time, beyond space, beyond this universe. Help us, Father, that we may stand before the throne of Yahushua HaMashiach right now, that we may partake that eternal glory as a member of true church, fitly put together, raised up by Yahushua HaMashiach, rooted up by Yahushua HaMashiach, to grow, to become Yahushua's body for the eternal place. That our expectations to be together with Thee and to be together with each other, never to be shaken, never to be cut off. Father, allow us to be reminded, to be focused on things of eternal value, not to be distracted, given to change, meddling with those things and people that are given to change. We don't want to sell off cheaply. Help us to maintain our integrity, our resolve to walk in Thy righteousness and in Thy truth for the eternity, starting right now, right here. Adonai Yahushua HaMashiach, guide us and protect us, teach us and keep us according to Thy goodness. Separate us from our carnal mind and our carnal lust. Let our nature, the old man, be crucified on the cross, covered by Thy blood, that infinite value, that amazing grace for our amazing existence with Thee for the eternity. Let not this carnal nature, the current dwelling place that we live in, be hampering pieces, scorning and mocking of that eternal being. Like Ishmael was playing with Isaac. Like Cain killed Abel. Like Esau was against Jacob. Let not this fleshly firstborn playing, making mockery of the eternal secondborn. But rather, let us dwell as a brand new being, born from above. Walk in Thy name according to Thy commandment, in Thy delight, rejoicing in Thy truth. Let us obey Thy name, Thy will, joyfully, willingly. Transform us into the likeness of Thy Son, Yahushua HaMashiach, that we may belong together for the eternity. Let anyone and everyone that has hearing ear to hear, seeing eye to see, let them also join all of us Let us all be in one accord, in unity of spirit, to dwell together in loving kindness and joy forevermore. In Yahushua's name we pray. Amen.